Hey Leos, I'm Jacine, also known as Tempest Trade, and this is your energy check-in. These messages may resonate if you have the Leo Zodiac anywhere in your chart. Please use discernment when listening to these messages, and if you're interested in any of my services, feel free to take a look at all the links in the description below. Let's get started. Now, what do the Leos need to know as of right now? We have the Eight of Pentacles followed by the Seven of Pentacles, so work. You are either putting in work towards a goal, towards your dreams, towards a project, or actual work. And essentially, you're just putting in a lot of work. Either that, or you are being required or asked to put in some work. Working hard, looking at what you need to do, making plans. Just work, 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 work. Working is a good thing, but I'm also getting the feeling, make sure you're not overworking yourself because there is a such thing as too much work. Let's get more information. Oh, that popped. Eight of Cups in the reversal. 878. So it looks as though you're not moving away from something. You're not walking away from something that could be affecting you emotionally. Maybe that's the reason why you're putting in a lot of work. Maybe you are compartmentalizing, and work is how you are essentially avoiding certain emotional work that you need to be doing. It looks as though you're putting in a lot of work into the tangible, the real, the physical, the finance, the career, the actual projects, and you might be avoiding emotional work. Which is interesting because we also need to be doing emotional work too. Now we do have in this Eight of Cups in reversal, we do have the Sun and the Moon, which is kind of like over each other. So the Moon represents illusions, certain things going inside your mind, maybe things not exactly being clear. The Sun represents happiness, forward movement, and clarity. So you could be trying to figure something out, or you could be I was going to say eclipsing something, like maybe avoiding certain truths, maybe not wanting to see certain things for what they are, or maybe it's difficult for you to face certain things, which could be the reason why you're putting in a lot of work in the tangible and not enough work into the emotional. Let's get more information. That was quick. Four of Cups in the reversal with Nine of Pentacles in the upright as the bottom of the deck card. Now, Four of Cups, it's kind of like not seeing all the pieces, or being so focused on certain things that you're not seeing everything. But in the reversal, it's kind of like you are starting to see certain things. You're starting to acknowledge that maybe you haven't been paying attention to the bigger picture, or maybe you have been very tunnel visioned on certain things. For example, you could be aware that you're tunnel visioned on work and not focusing on the emotions. The Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, it's interesting because we have 7, 8, 9. Nine of Pentacles is about being happy alone, tending to your own garden, watering yourself, being in your single era, being happy, just building your life. And like the Cups cards, the only two Cups cards we have out are in reverse. everything else is the pentacles, the finance, the career, the material, the stability. I think you need to focus on your emotions a bit more, on your internal, your heart, just a little bit more. Because you're doing well in your finance, in your career, in your material stability. You just need to focus a bit more on your emotions, because emotions, like, you can only compartmentalize for so long before, for example, before the compartmentalization stops or ends and you end up having some sort of like boom, meltdown, or some sort of blow up. It's good to focus on the material, to get your ducks in a row, to make sure that your finances and your career is moving up and building, but your emotions also matter too. So let's get a bit of clarity on the Eight of Pentacles. We have buried secret along with strangling vines. I did mention how this Eight of Cups, like, you could be avoiding certain things to compartmentalize. And I think this kind of clarifies that also just a little bit, because I think maybe things have been hidden, and like, you know that certain things have been hidden from you, or you know that certain things are still a secret, or you don't know everything, and that's probably why you're so focused on the physical, the tangible, the finance, the career. Because I feel like if you don't put your focus on something, like, you're just going to succumb to whatever emotions you have going on inside you, because you haven't exactly addressed it yet. It could also mean that you're putting so much focus into work that you don't really realize that you're kind of suffocating yourself just a little bit. Like I mentioned, there is such a thing as too much work, too much, like, working too hard, overworking yourself to the point where, like, you can't breathe, to the point where you feel like you're suffocating, all because there are certain things you're avoiding, or certain things that are hidden from you. Clarification on the Seven of Pentacles. We have the Freya card, which is a goddess card. Freya is the goddess of love, battle, war, sex, witchcraft. With this card in the reversal, this could mean that you might need to focus a little bit on your spiritual practice. Maybe you need to focus a little bit on the balance between love and hate, love and war, especially since the emotions cards are the cards that are in reversal, not paying attention to your emotions, not moving away or letting go of certain things, not fully seeing the bigger picture, but wanting to let go, wanting to see the bigger picture. This might have to do with love, or some type of emotional push and pull with another person or other people. But again, since Freya does also, or is also, the goddess of witchcraft and magic, this could ask you to lean into magic, witchcraft, spirituality just a little bit more. Of course, if you want to, take this message with a grain of salt, with some discernment. Search yourself to see exactly how much you are willing to step into certain out-of-the-box thinking. And then at the same time, possibly bring balance to whatever emotional struggle that you're currently going through. So this Freya card could also mean that you are guided and protected by other energies outside of yourself. Whether or not you think you are, and you might have received certain signs, certain guidances to do certain things that you might not have been listening to. And I think it is also in regards to the steps you are taking. All right, let's get information on this Eight of Cups in reversal. That popped. Worst day ever. Luck turns against you, a sure victory turns to failure, one calamity piles upon another, a tool breaks without reason. You have to walk away from something that was the worst thing to possibly ever happen to you, or you have to kind of finally admit to yourself that something isn't working. It is not helping you. It's falling apart. It is bringing you bad luck. Something you're holding on to, something you're not walking away from, or something that you don't want to admit to yourself isn't good for you. And it's interesting because both of these cards have a person with their back turned. This Eight of Cups, the back is turned and he's looking out into the horizon. Worst day ever. This person's back is turned, they're in the rain, and they're looking out to the tree line. You have to walk away from something. But are you aware of what it is that you need to walk away from? Four of Cups in the reversal. Ooh. We have another God card out. Horus in the upright. Horus is the Egyptian god of the morning star, the evening star, the sun, the moon, the left eye, right eye. Horus represents knowledge, wisdom, elevation. I think not only are you being guided by multiple energies around you, you're being protected. And on top of that, they're urging you to tap into certain things. Horus is urging you to tap into wisdom, or to see things as they are, to gain the wisdom and the intellect to know things, to use both eyes. And it's interesting because since Horus is the left eye, right eye, the sun and the moon, this Eight of Cups is also the sun and the moon together in one card, at least depicted on this card. And it's also interesting how both of these God cards form like a triangle with the sun and the moon in the middle. Given that Horus is also in the upright with this Four of Cups in the reversal, seeing the bigger picture, that's another thing. Being able to see. So it's kind of like you do see certain things. And maybe, again, with this Eight of Cups, you're kind of avoiding it. Maybe compartmentalizing because you can't really face it, but you can. You can face it. You can face it on your own. And you'll be okay. I feel like it's faith in yourself. And that's another thing with having faith in ourselves. People who often compartmentalize and put their focus into work, finance, career, it's because they can actually see the results of what it is that they're doing. But when it comes to emotions, you can't always see the results. It's a feeling. However, when you start addressing certain emotional issues that you have inside of you and you start healing your emotions, what you don't realize is that you do actually see the results of that. Happiness. Happiness really does have an outside effect. You smile more. Your energy is lighter. You are willing to say yes to a lot more things, not just work. You're willing to say yes to fun. That could also be it too. Having a bit more fun. Having a bit more simple joy, since cups is also emotions. There's a siren going on in the background outside. So I think that's a key thing too, which is yes to simple joys, yes to emotions, yes to feeling free, feeling happy, letting go of whatever it was in order to actually be happy. Clarification on 9 of Pentacles. Moment of indecision in the reversal. So moment of indecision means that you're not making a choice, you're not moving, but in the reversal, you are making a choice. You're making a choice to do things on your own. You're making a choice to tend to yourself. You're making a choice to focus, which is good. You should be making a choice. Bottom of the deck, earworm. Humming a tune, singing a song, remembering certain things, repeating a task flawlessly, not being able to get something out of your head. This could have multiple meanings. It could mean that whatever it is that you're setting aside and compartmentalizing, it's still there. It's still there inside your head and you can't get it out of your head. But earworm could also mean, again, that simple joy. Humming a tune, being happy, singing a song. And since earworm also means repeating a task flawlessly, it's kind of like you're on autopilot. Again, that compartmentalization. You're doing certain things to avoid other things. And you're making certain decisions and you're just acting on it. Let's get a bit more clarification. All right, let's get clarification on 8 of Pentacles, buried secret, and strangling vines. We have gleam of battle. Every soldier returns from battle changed, by hardship, by blood, by a glimpse of glory. Yeah, you're putting in work in certain areas because you've been through certain crap. And you really are focusing on how you can avoid going through the same things you've been through before. Let's say, for example, if you've been through homelessness, then you could be working really hard to not experience homelessness again. But again, you also need to tend to your emotions. Again, homelessness is just an example. I don't know if that's exactly what you've been through, but that's just an example how you can go through one particular thing and then make certain decisions and work incredibly hard to not experience that thing again. But yeah, it looks as though you have definitely experienced certain things and you really are working hard not to experience it again. 7 of Pentacles with the Freya card. Two cards have flipped over. Grim Affliction with Channeling in the reversal. Okay. Grim Affliction says, even the small wounds, let hope bleed out. That's in the upright. So that does mean that you are still healing from certain things, but you still have some healing to do. 4:04 p.m. on the clock. So 4:04 or 44, 4 or 44 can be significant for you, but you still have healing to do. And I love that the channeling card has come out in reversal right beneath the Freya card, because again, Freya also is the goddess of magic and witchcraft. Channeling, for example, this right here, this tarot divination that I'm currently doing is a form of channeling. It is messages from some unseen energy being delivered from me to you. And since channeling is in the reversal, it's giving me the feeling that you can channel your own messages from the energies, gods, goddesses, universe, ancestors, all of that, all of them. You can channel and get direct guidance from all of them if you choose to, if you decide to. But in the reversal, it's like you're not trying to, or you don't want to, or you don't believe in it. And with the Freya card in the reverse and the channeling card in the reverse, it's a choice. I feel like you can get guidance for yourself too, if you tried, if you chose to. And I feel like this path is open for you too. And you just have to do it. So tap into your spirituality, tap into your gifts. You might have the ability to channel. Everyone really does. It's just a matter of doing it, allowing it to happen, allowing it to flow through you. Honestly, when I was getting clarification from this deck, I was kind of wondering if any of the magic cards, any of like the spirituality, magical gift cards would come out, and one did. I like that. Don't doubt your own ability of divination, of connecting to the universe and the energies around you and your ancestors. Don't doubt that. All right, let's get clarification on 8 of Cups and worst day ever. Whee! 3 cards came out. I usually don't like 3 cards, but and the way they fell out too. So we have explosive impact, act of treason, and unnoticeable. Combined, those cards are very self-explanatory. Explosive impact is something that hits you hard. Act of treason is an act of treason, a betrayal. And then unnoticeable, something that you do not see. And I was just talking about earlier when I was explaining this 8 of Cups card, how the moon on this card represents illusions, something that like you can't see. And maybe you're trying to figure out what it is. Maybe you're trying to avoid it, one or the other. But it looks as though something was hidden from you. And even though you're trying to figure out what it is, maybe the reason why you can't really figure it out is because it's unnoticeable. Unnoticeable is like something that's a routine, something that happens in the background, or something that happens so consistently that like you're not paying attention because it's always been there. So this is kind of giving me the feeling like there are certain people around you that have always been kind of treacherous, kind of treasonous, kind of backstabby. Maybe people who trash talk, and they trash talk in the form of a joke, and you let it slide because it's a joke. Like, I'm joking, but there is a grain of truth in every joke. That's the truth. And that's an example. I don't know your situation specifically, because this is a collective for Leos. So this could apply in many different areas for different people that are watching this video. But it looks as though there is something that has been taking place and you don't see it. You could be ignoring it. It could be so routine or so consistent that you kind of dismiss it. It could be completely hidden from you with buried secret. All right, let's get clarification on this Four of Cups with the Horus card. Grounded in the reversal. You need to be more grounded in your emotions, more stable in your emotions. Yeah. When you want to see and when you want to gain wisdom, when you want to learn and observe, you need to have a groundedness of yourself, because you can't have wisdom and be reckless. You can't have wisdom and be impulsive. You need to be grounded. Wisdom comes from watching, learning, observing, taking in information, and remaining grounded, remaining firm and stable in yourself, in the information that you know. And if you don't know all the information, then you are willing to gather the information. But you can only do that from a stable center. So you need to ground yourself a bit more, stabilize your emotions a bit more. Let's get clarification on Nine of Pentacles and moment of indecision. Ooh. Opportunist, look at that. Moment of indecision, acting on something, not being indecisive. So take opportunities. Take opportunities that allow you to grow, that come your way. But at the same time, be sure that you can identify when other people are opportunists. Like if other people are exploiting certain things, if other people are taking advantage of certain of like your status, your stability. Like, be aware of that. See it, observe it, catch it. Don't allow certain things to hold you down. And also jump on certain opportunities that come your way, especially if those opportunities allow you to grow and expand. Oh, shoot. Okay, no, I'm okay. Ah, dang it. I'm going to see what this is, and then I'm going to put it back in the deck because I was just mixing. Dominate. Okay. Honorable mention card, dominate. This card could indicate that you are in a power struggle. It could indicate that, again, with this Freya card, this balance between love and hate, how you might be in a back and forth struggle, that could be it. You could be involved with certain people or a person that has an issue with control. Let's clarify its earworm and the upright. Mm. Ooh. We have curse in the reverse. I like that. You are breaking curses. You are, if someone has tried to make your life crappy, you're getting out of that. If you learned certain things in your childhood, 4:14 p.m. on the clock. If you learned certain things throughout your adolescent years, certain habits or certain mindsets, you're breaking that. You're essentially pulling yourself away from certain things that are unhealthy, that do not grow you, that do not inspire you, do not motivate you, do not heal you. You're moving away from all of that. Levitate in the reversal. With levitate in the reversal, it's giving me the feeling like you still have a little bit of issue with moving forward, which makes sense because again, the Eight of Cups and the Four of Cups in the reversal, that's not being able to move forward. So on some level, even though you are aware, you seem to have this awareness, there are certain things you need to do. You are in this transitional period where you're still working, you're still healing. You're not there yet, but you are definitely on the way. And that's better than not putting in any work at all. Now we're going to get final answer cards or cards on what to do moving forward. Now, if you don't recognize this deck, this is the Clow cards from Cardcaptor Sakura, the anime. And the reality with tarot reading or divination is you can use anything. Like I am using Pathfinder role-playing cards along with Magic the Gathering cards, Twilight of the Gods cards. You can use anything. So let's see what these cards have to say for you. These cards are also really hard for me to shuffle, so it might take me a while to get some messages out of this card deck, but we'll see how long it takes. Hopefully not forever. Ooh, these cards are so hard to shuffle. Oh no! You see? You see? And you bet you're wondering how I got here. I bet you're wondering why am I using cards that are hard to shuffle and I'm still deciding. Guess on one hand I like the challenge. Yeah, I don't know how long this is going to take to get cards out of this deck. Oh, finally, one card. The loop. I like that. Get out of the loop. Get out of your head. Get out of certain cycles that just take you round and round and round in circles. It could be people that keep you in cycles. It could be your own mindset that keeps you in certain cycles. It could be certain jobs that keep you in cycles. Be sure to use your discernment. And the best way to use your discernment is getting in touch with your emotions. Asking yourself, am I happy? Can I find a productive way through this situation? Is there a solution? Can this situation be solved? By asking yourself those questions, you'll be able to get yourself out of certain loops that aren't good for you. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. I would say you can forward and skip ahead until you see cards actually falling out. It's already been like 2 minutes. Oh, falling apart again. But you know what they say, patience is a virtue. And look at that. Second card, the Silent. It's interesting that this should also come out with the channeling in the reversal. This is leaning into exactly what I said earlier with, you can definitely get guidance and messages from your ancestors, from the universe, from gods, goddesses, energy, source, spirit, whatever outside energy there is, you can connect with them if you choose to. And since the channeling card is in the reversal, it's like you've chosen not to, you've chosen to be silent, or you've chosen not to listen. But the Silent card, it could also represent that some things that you're going through doesn't require your response. You don't need to respond. You can be silent. You can be silent to those situations and instead lean into healing, lean into guidance, lean into working with outside energies. Oh, and we have that card. We have the Earthy. The Earthy card is about connecting with nature. Connecting with nature, also being natural. For example, since this is for the Eight of Cups, worst day ever, active treason, explosive impact, unnoticeable. It's like not only being grounded in yourself, grounding yourself in nature, but also kind of like learning or observing people for who they naturally are. And there's that saying, once someone shows you who they are, believe it. Believe that that is who they are. Believe that that is their natural self. And then the final card, please. We're going on 6 minutes of just these cloud cards. Oh, there we go. Final card, the Twin. with the snow on the bottom of the deck. So the twin card, in terms of Four of Cups, Horus, grounded. Twin could be Gemini, for example. You could be dealing with Gemini, or you could be dealing with two people who are similar. The twin could also represent how you and another person you're dealing with could be similar too. Twin could also represent duality. But at the same time, remember, the Horus card represents the left eye, right eye, the sun and the moon. That same duality. So the twin could mean that there are certain things that you have to understand about duality, about people. There are certain things you have to understand about, like give and take, reciprocity. Where there's good or light, there's also bad and shadow. There are two sides to every situation, two sides to everything. And if someone acts, or if someone behaves in a manner that you don't like, or a situation plays out in a manner you don't like, you have to understand that there are different moving pieces to that. You are just one piece of that situation. But if there's multiple people involved in the situation, they're also another moving piece. And you have to be aware. Again, Horus card, that wisdom, that intellect, that observation. You have to be aware of that. And with the snow card on the bottom of the deck, when you think of snow, like it's not a blizzard. This doesn't say blizzard. This doesn't say hail. This doesn't say storm. This says snow. When you think of snowfall, what does snowfall look like? They are beautiful, crystalline little flakes that drift down gently, tranquilly. So snow is asking you to be more tranquil, to be airy, to be light, to be unique. Since we also know that every snowflake, there's no single snowflake that is identical. They are all completely unique. So be your unique self. Be completely honest with yourself. Be completely authentic with who you are. And just allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to exist. Allow yourself to be tranquil and to drift, and allow, not to drift aimlessly, but to allow life to just guide you. Allow yourself to be. All right, Leos. This was your energy check-in. I hope this resonated with you. And if you would like a private one-on-one with me, you can check out my Linktree Tempest Trade in the description below. Until next time. Bye.